Okay, welcome to the video series on Python. In this video we are going to discuss about the break condition, then pass condition and continue conditions in Python. So usually we are using these three conditions or these three keywords in loops. So we'll see first what is the usage of break. So in the last video also we have discussed what is break. Usually the break mean if we using the keyword break, it will terminate the current loop. It will terminate the current loop and resume execution at the next statement. So it will terminate the current loop and it will resume the execution of the next statement. So what is happening in break? If we have a break statement, it will break the looping. So there is one example. So we'll check the example first. So in this example you can see this is the first example. In the first example it says for letter in Python. So here we are using a for loop. In for loop we are checking whether the letters in word Python. So if we have a letter from the Python, so it is going to check whether the letter is equal to H. In this case it will break the loop. So whenever we get the letter H, it should be break the loop. So what is the output we should get? So current letter P, current letter Y, current letter T. Then if we get the next iteration H, it should break the loop. So this is the thing you should do in the first looping. So we'll check the next one also and we'll run it and see what is the output. So we are having a variable called 10. So we are going to check whether there is a while loop. So we are going to check whether the variable is greater than 0. So we are going to check whether the variable is greater than 0. Then print the current variable is this variable. Then variable equal variable minus 1. So if the variable equal 5, it says break. So then what are the output we should get? We should get 10, 9, 8, 7 and 6 and it should end. So here there is a break condition. Whenever we are getting the variable 5, it should break the looping and we should get output as print goodbye. Okay, then we'll run it and see. So if we executed the program, you can see from P, Y, T, so it will loop from P to Y to T. Then in the T, and the next case we are getting H, so it is going to break the looping and it will go out from the loop. In the second scenario also you can see it will go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. When we get 5, it will break the loop and it will terminate the current loop and it will go for the next statement. So this is the next statement, so it will print goodbye. So this is the thing you should know in when dealing with the break condition. So next we'll check what is mean by continue. So the continue statement is used for it returns the control to the beginning of the loop. So whenever we get a continue, it will return to the beginning. So we'll see with an example. So I'm having example, the same code I have changed a little bit. So instead of breaking, we are going to use continue, the word keyword continue. So in the continue, what will happen is if we get the word continue, it will return the control to the beginning of the while loop. So we'll run the program and check the output. See, you can see it here. So whenever the H is taken, so we are going back to the main loop. So in this case P, Y, T up to T, we are getting the output. So in the H case, it says if the letter is H, you should continue. In the break case, what will happen? It will end the looping and it will go out from the loop. If we have continue, it will just terminate the current loop and it will go back to the main loop and it will continue. So in the next scenario also you can see we have initialized variable to 10. From 10 to it should go there is a decrement from a 1, so then it should come from variable. It will start from 9 because it is 10 equal 10 minus 1, then it will go from 9, then 8, 7, 6. So whenever we got 5, it says continue. So it says continue mean this function will end and it will go for the looping. It will go for the next iteration in the loop without doing the other task. So you can see in the output is like 9, 8, 7, 6. So 5 is missing. Why 5 is missing? It will terminate the current looping and it will go for the next loop. Okay. So this is how we are working with continue. Why we are using continue in any case of if we want to jump from an iteration, if we want to jump out from an iteration, we can use the keyword continue. So we have discussed two things, one is break, one is continue. If we have break, it will fully end the looping and it will go out from the loop. So if we have continue, it will only break the current looping. It will break only the current iteration and it will go for the next iteration and continue the looping. So that is the difference between break and the continue. Then we are having one more keyword called pass. So the pass keyword usually we are using in a scenario where we want to pass something. Basically we are using pass when your code is not completed. So in such places, if we want to pass the block, if we want to pass that block, then we can use the keyword pass. The pass will pass that set of lines and it will go for the next statement. So that is the difference between the continue, break and with the pass. So if we run this program, you can see, so it will go for P, then Y in the T. If there is H, it says just pass. So it has to do the passing. So there is no any computation. Then it will just print this line and it will go for the next set of action. So this is, see, you can see even though H is met, this is not going to omit that line. So pass just we will be using in any case where you have some set of codes to be executed in between, but still you haven't built that part, then you can use just pass statement to pass that statement. So if you want to write some another condition executable statements, so still you want to write it in the later, but still you want to run the program, in such places you can use the keyword pass. So without that statement line also, then you can pass or you can omit that process and you can ask to execute the other parts. So that's how you are going to use pass keyword in Python. So if you check it correctly, you can see just that line was passed from that block and it will execute other all the lines. So these are the three keywords you should know. One is break, one is continue and one is pass. So when you are working with loops, you should know these three keywords and how to work with these three keywords. So in the next video we will be discussing more examples on loops. So stay tuned with our YouTube channel.